What's going on, guys? My name's Corrupt and welcome back to another guide video. And this video we are going to be going over the Queen Walk technique for Town Hall 9, Town Hall 10, Town Hall 11, and Town Hall 12. This will be your ultimate guide to learn how to use this technique, as well as we're going to be going over a few different ways of using it. So we're going to be first starting out with what are you bringing with this technique? Well, you're obviously bringing the queen, hence Queen Walk, but you're also going to be bringing healers, and the healers are going to allow your queen to stay up. Now remember, the healers on heroes do have a reduced amount of healing compared to healing on regular troops, which means that there is a little bit of a difference. However, usually bringing 4 to 5 healers for the Queen Walk is going to be a very good option. Another thing is rage spells. Now I can't say how many rage spells you're going to be bringing. It depends on the army composition, but it is usually a very good way of using the rage with the healers. The main reason why is because the rage spell will allow the healers to hit that queen with their healing splash faster. That allows them to easily get a lot of healing done, especially when the queen is in a large area of damage, where those healers are going to be able to continue to heal them rather than just doing their normal speed and not having enough healing to heal up that queen in time. So you might have to phase her out, especially if she's in a high DPS area and you don't use a rage, or even if you still use a rage, you sometimes will need to do that. Now, you get the Queen Walk, you can start it at Town Hall 9. This is a very, very viable option. There are some strategies that you can use, including Falcon, Haunted Queen, and then Queen Walk Lalo and Queen Walk Hogs. But as you further progress into the game, they get a little bit better, and it just becomes a little bit stronger. And again, the bases do become stronger as well, so you will have to adapt to this. So at Town Hall 10, you have a few more strategies. You have Miners. You have, again, Hogs and Lalo. You even have some Bow Witch, but you also even have stuff like P.E.K.K.A. Bobat, which is extremely strong. So it's definitely up to you and what you guys want to use at Town Hall 10. Now at Town Hall 11, you still have Miners, you still have Bow Witch, you still have Lalo and Hogs, and you still have P.E.K.K.A. Bobat, so you can still choose to use it with the P.E.K.K.A. Bobat. Now, sometimes you may want to use the Grand Warden to walk with the Archer Queen, which means the Grand Warden is going to be able to provide a life aura while the Queen walks. So this will extend her health just a little bit, but it will allow you to use that Grand Warden's ability to really make sure that the queen doesn't die, especially if you don't want to use a rage spell. So then using it in a high DPS area will allow that queen to stay alive, and then you can use your rage spell to rage up the queen and the healers once they get out of that specific aura. Now, at Town Hall 12, it's going to be very similar, but mainly you're going to be typically using the Grand Warden there with the Queen Walk, just because those defenses hit a lot harder, and even having a level 60 queen, your queen will still need rage spells at a pretty substantial rate, depending on where all the DPS is coming from. So it is a little bit harder to charge into a base, but not impossible. Now, there's 3 different methods of doing so. There's 3 different methods of doing the Queen Walk. And this can be either setting a funnel, which is easier to do, especially if you're a brand new, Town Hall 9 and you're just learning. It's a very, very simple one at that, especially with the Haunted Queen. The other one is the Queen setting a funnel and then going in with the rest of the troops, with the rest of the army. And the main thing to think about that is like Falcon, or sometimes Bow Witch, or even P.E.K.K.A. Bobat if you're a Town Hall 10 and above. Those usually do so. Maybe not Bow Witch, but definitely P.E.K.K.A. Bobat. Now, another one that you guys can use, a third method, is going to be charging into the base. We're going to be talking about those other 2 a little bit later, but the Queen Charge is very, very strong, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but just to give you guys an overview of what it is, The queen charge is charging into the base like a kill squad to get key objectives. Depending on the attack, you're going to be looking for different things, and we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. So now we're going to go ahead and start off with our first technique, which is just setting the funnel. Very, very simple. Usually when you use the queen walk starting at Town Hall 9, you're going to be using the queen walk to mainly set a funnel for on one side for the witches and then another one on the other, so that then the queen can kind of get a lot of good value, but you also still want to try and get rid of the enemy CC if it's not a lava hound. That's why bringing a poison spell and that attack strategy can work really, really well. Let me know if you guys want to see a guide on that, and I will totally bring it for you guys somewhere in the future. But just to give an example, that is one strategy that does this. Another one is such as miners. Now, miners can be, or queen walk miners can be used at different ways. We'll talk about it at the queen charge, but you can also just set a funnel. She gets a lot of good value from the outside, just picking defenses and other buildings off and setting a funnel on that side, so that then if you kind of see like a rectangular base, you can identify, oh, hey, I can hit miners with this. If I just set two funnels, one with the queen walk and one with, a king or a wizard, you're going to be able to easily set the funnel there. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult depending on the base. And it's the same thing at Town Hall 11 and Town Hall 12. Again, it's always going to be base specific. Now, when you're setting the funnel with this sort of technique, you're really just, again, looking for some small pieces of value to get, like if you can get air defenses, if you're doing a Lalo, or if you're doing a just like a minor attack, as I said. You're just looking for those key, like just a few defenses, like anything that's really going to hurt those miners a lot. So I can just give you guys a really good option to use there. And the same thing goes with Town Hall 11 and Town Hall 12. Now we're going to jump into the next one, which is going into the base with the queen walk as after you set a funnel. So again, you set a funnel with your queen walk, but this time, your queen's going to enter in with the attack. This includes Falcon, and Falcon is very strong from Town Hall 9 to Town Hall 11. I have yet to see it at Town Hall 12, but it is definitely a viable option, and that's what it uses. As the queen sets the funnel on one side, this allows one side of the base, one side of the outside of the base, to get completely cleared. This allows then the attacker to set another side of the funnel with just a little bit of troops and then start sending everything in while the queen goes in. In that attack strategy, you will have to deal with the CC somehow. So usually having something like that is usually a really good option, including Bow Witch, where sometimes you may want the queen to start going in with your Bow Witch, but other times you won't need to. So that I can give you guys that really good example. Again, it kind of also works at Town Hall 11 and somewhat at Town Hall 12, but we are going to get to that a little bit later. And now we're going to talk about Queen Charge. Queen Charge, as I said before, you're trying to go in to get specific amounts of value. This way that the rest of your attack can sweep through the base quite easier. So a good example I can give is Hogs or Lalo. Usually when you're going to do that, is you're trying to get key objectives. Depending on what town hall you are, you're looking for different things. Like at Town Hall 9, you're looking for the king, queen, and CC if you're doing hogs, or if you're doing Lalo, you're going to look for air defenses. Any air targeting defenses, queen, and CC. If you guys can get those out of the way, that's good. Very similarly to Town Hall 10, Town Hall 11, Town Hall 12, they're all roughly the same. It's just it gets difficult the more and more you go up, especially with defenses such as Eagles and also like the Giga Tesla. Now, what's different about the Eagle is something that if you're at Town Hall 11, you're going to have to deal with that, because that's the one thing that the Eagle, that the Queen can't stop. The Eagle, unless you can get rid of it, the Eagle will basically rain down on your Queen, which means that even if she pops her ability, she can still be targeted. So that you got to remember that, especially if you're Town Hall 11 and Town Hall 12. You've got to remember that. Now, the other thing that you guys should probably know about the Queen Charge is you can also use this to just funnel one side out of the base. This will include miners. I've seen it countless times where miners have been used, or the attack has been used with miners, but the queen going into the base, funneling out one side, making it very easy for him to set another side of the funnel, and it almost becomes a rectangle. So it's really, you just want to really identify different base designs. What are you looking for? And there's always, again, different ways of breaking in with the queen walk. This can include jump, earthquake. This can also include siege machines such as the wall wrecker and the stone slammer. So there's different ways of getting that queen in to really open up the base. And a good example of the earthquake is going to be the mass baby dragon attack strategy. Very, very strong at Town Hall 10 and 11, and something that I think you guys should probably start learning at Town Hall 10 and Town Hall 11 to really, again, it's base dependent, but it's a very, very good strategy if you can find the right base and master your queen walk / queen charge. So I hope I didn't miss anything, but there you guys go. That is your ultimate queen walk guide. If you guys did enjoy, why not leave a like and subscribe for more of my content. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss an upload. If you guys want to go ahead and join the XUmani family or my personal Discord server, those links are going to be in the description below. And don't forget to hit me up on Twitter. That link is also going to be in the description below. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to share with your clanmates so that they can become better attackers with the queen walk. A much essential guide for them. And I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.